I'd love to have the conversation right now about kind of repair versus replace, because I think that comes up often. I know you don't do the repair side of things, but I think you have enough insight on what is what. Like any, maybe Tom, you have feedback too. Like any kind of rule of thumbs that you have of like, hey, if it's over nine, and for me, like for a dishwasher, it's like, all right, if it's over 9 years old, like it's probably, it's just, I don't want to send a tech out there. I'd rather just replace it. Like, what do you guys, how you guys make your determinations on that, or how you advise investors to look at those scenarios? Because what I hate happening, I hate when I send a guy out there to tell me I should replace it. So I got to pay him the $85 or whatever we could negotiate his fee down to, only to turn around and pay X amount of hundreds of dollars for a new one. What's your guys' thoughts on that? Both of you guys. I'd love to hear.
Yeah. And that's changing a lot. So I use a similar 8 to 10 years. If you got a dishwasher in a rental unit, call it a $400 dishwasher, 8 years old, it breaks. By the time you pay the repair tech $100 to come to the house, then he tells you he can get the parts. These days, parts are very hard to come by. So a lot of them are recommending you replace it, but you're spending someone $100, $200, 50% of the cost of a new dishwasher just to Band-Aid that you hope to get another year or two out of it. I mean, those dishwashers aren't running 15, 20 years anymore. So I agree with the 8 to 10 year mark. High end's a little bit different. A Sub-Zero fridge should run for 25 years. So that's worth putting a little bit of money into that. But same game. It also depends, how many times have I repaired this washer? You know, if I've had it for 8 years, I've had 3 or 4 service calls on it, maybe it's time to put a new washer in there. Tenants beat up appliances. You know, tenants aren't taking care of their appliances. They're overloading washers. They're not all tenants, obviously, but the majority of tenants are beating up. So they're hard on appliances, which makes them turn around quicker.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest tips for our listeners, while I'm thinking about that, I've been jammed on many times, is the stackable washer and dryers, where on the washing machine, those are very small drums. You put more than 5 or 6 towels in there, wet towels, you break one of those, one of the 3 springs underneath, and it ends up being like a $500 type repair, and you start questioning, do you replace it? But I guess the tip there I'll give is to the listeners is make sure you warn if you have stackable, make sure the bottom your tenant knows not to overload that. Otherwise they could be responsible for that cost.